Harpers, I'm Tiffany Schaefer. Welcome to Let's Talk Harp, where we talk about all things harp related. Have you ever wanted to learn how to play by ear? Maybe you've even watched some of my learn by ear videos, but you weren't quite sure how you're supposed to make it all work? Well, today I thought I would address how my learn by ear videos are meant to be approached and sort of break down step by step how I learn by ear and how I think you might want to try approaching it as well. Obviously this is just one video and we don't want it to be like an hour long, so if this raises any questions for you that aren't covered in our time today, please go ahead and send me an email. I'm going to put my email across the screen right now, or you can check the video description down below. I would love to help you if I can. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Maybe your question will get answered in a future video, as well as other videos we have coming up for learning tunes and just good old performance videos. I like performing a lot too, and I do try to do those types of videos once or twice a month. So leave this video a thumbs up if you want to increase your ear learning skills, and let's get started. First we'll talk about how my videos personally are meant to be taken, and then we'll talk about how you can start to use this strategy to learn any song by ear with any recording out there, whether it's harp or not, even if it's not strictly a tutorial video. And a little bit of how to find chords that go with whatever song you're learning. I will be looking down a lot because I'm reading off my notes. Number one is we're working on training our ear more than our eye. So you'll notice in my harp tutorial videos, I always have a close-up of my hands. This can be really helpful if you play the harp and you want a little bit of a visual cue with fingering and such. However, really, if you're trying to train your ear, the visuals are there just to be secondary, just a little hint to help you along. I wouldn't recommend just watching very closely and trying to learn the tune just by watching where my fingers are. I mean, if that works for you, who am I to say otherwise? But I think that you'll probably end up getting frustrated if you take the visuals as the main thing and think of the audio as less important. Also, remember you can use my harp tutorial videos with any instrument really. If you play, say, a fiddle or a piano or a concertina, you certainly can't use my visual cues with those instruments, but you can use your ear and rely on your ear and learn the tune that way, like we're going to talk about. Likewise, if you find a teaching video with a different instrument in it, for example, there are a lot of good fiddle tutorials out here on YouTube, and I would encourage you not to ignore those just because you play harp and not fiddle. Because again, we're training our ears more than our eyes. Another important thing I'm going to jump right in and say here is listen a lot to the tune that you want to learn without an instrument in your hands. Just listen to it. Listen to the whole thing, take it as a whole. Preferably you want to find it in the same key that you want to play it in. You don't have to, but it does help. Then you don't have to transpose it as you're learning it, which can be a little bit tricky, especially if you're a beginner. I usually play the tune at the beginning of my tutorials because you need to hear how it sounds as a whole. So if you're watching my videos, listen to me playing the tune several times. See if you can hum it without too much help remembering. Because if you can hum it, you can play it. Number two is get familiar with intervals. If you are not familiar with how intervals look, feel, and sound on your instrument, that would be maybe one of the first steps you could take, is practice those intervals. Sue Richards just did a wonderful workshop where she talked about this in Virtual Harp Summit, which just finished up this week. So if you have not been watching that, you can actually go still purchase all the workshops. I'll put a link below if you want to see what I'm talking about. So practicing intervals. When I was in college and taking an ear training class, my teacher gave us a list of songs that helped us remember what intervals sounded like. So you might find something like that helpful. For example, a minor second. All I'm playing right now is an F sharp with a G natural. Now if you put those two strings together and play them this way, they sound an awful lot like the theme from Jaws. So that is one way you can remember what a minor second sounds like. A major second, let me go to G really quick. A major second will sound like this. I don't remember what song we learned in ear training class that went with this, but If you know Spootiscary. Spootiscary starts on a major second. Da-da. A minor third is Brahms' Lullaby. Right, so it's just da-da. This particular one I'm playing is E with a G. A major third. This bass is just a half step wider than a minor third. The one we used to remember that was Marine Hymn. So the first two notes of the Marine Hymn are a major third. A perfect fourth. And again, the way you find these on the harp is a perfect fourth will just be 4 strings apart. So I'm on C, C, D, E, F. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a fourth. It sounds just like Here Comes the Bride in the beginning. A perfect fifth. I think we use Star Spangled Banner for that one. So you have to put that third in there. Perfect fifth sounds like this. Also, you practice sixths, seventh, and of course octaves or eighths. These I think will be the main ones when you're playing Celtic harp. So try and get familiar with those. You don't have to name all of them and memorize all the names. Just kind of think about how far apart something sounds. I know this sounds farther apart than this. I know this sounds farther apart than this. Three is how you eat an elephant. And how do you eat an elephant? And that's one bite at a time. That's why in my tutorials I try and take small phrases and just play them a few times for you to hear and copy. And that is where video format becomes very helpful, because obviously you can pause, you can back up as many times as you need to. So you take a phrase, for example, in my last video for Southwind, and Southwind is in G, so I've got all my F sharps up and everything else is natural, so we're in the key of G, just for this example. And hopefully this is after you've listened to the tune as a whole several times. If you don't know it already, if it's not familiar to you already, just listening to it without trying to play it and having it in your head. We take the first phrase, and I'm not going to show it to you. Okay, all those notes sound really close together, right? Thinking about our intervals. They sound like steps just walking down. If that phrase is too long for you, take a shorter phrase. Just take that much. So we know we can hear that those notes are really close together. And again, you don't have to know all the names of all the intervals. And we just start trying to play it. You go around, okay, it starts on a D, that sounds familiar. If I can hum it, I can play it, so da 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 da. And I know that all those strings are right close together. There's no skips yet. And then we'll take the next phrase. So we hear that in our heads. Okay, we've got this much. Now these two notes sounded a bit farther apart. And you can see they're a third apart. They're not right next to each other. And again, these are just right next to each other. So if you take just that much, just a little phrase at a time, and you just try to mimic what you hear. You don't even have to see it. And if you're worried about fingering, I almost would say, if you're not good at putting together fingerings yet, that's okay. Try and just learn the tune with the fingering that makes sense at the time. And once you have it a little bit, you can figure out, oh, this makes more sense to do the fingerings this way. It's not so awkward. Because you kind of have to know what comes next in order to figure out what fingering is best. And if you don't know the tune yet, you don't really know what comes next. So, right, that's another skip. So I played that already. That sounds lower, so I know I've got to go another third. Not high enough. So just that much. If you don't know what note it starts on and you're trying to learn a song, just pick a note. It's really okay. It's okay to make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. If you're gonna create something, you're gonna make mistakes, so don't be afraid of them. So if you can just hear it in your head and hum it. Okay, there's my D. I know it starts in a D. Right, you just play around with it. So if you take each phrase like that, again, this is after you've listened to the whole thing a few times, I think you'll find that eventually you'll be able to remember longer and longer chunks at a time. You'll be able to take longer and longer chunks at a time. You may not need to pause the video so much the more you do this, and you'll be well on your way. So as with anything, the more you try it and put it into practice, the easier it'll become. I promise. Number 4, we have using this method for any type of music you want to learn. You can take this same approach with any song recording on any instrument or a group of instruments where you can hear the melody. You might like a pop song, but you just can't find the sheet music for it anywhere. For example, as long as you can hear the melody and have it in your head, a good indication again is that you can hum it or hum along. So just take a small bit, whether you're listening to it or whether you know it so well you're just humming it. Just take a small bit, just the first short phrase like we did with Southwind, and try to identify where it starts. First of all, your first note, and just how far apart the next note is. And just take it really small pieces. And then play that piece over and over until you have it, then move on to the next piece. Then play that piece, both those pieces together, and then move on to the next piece. You just take it a little bit at a time. And you think, are those notes next to each other? Are they farther apart? Really listen to it with your ear. It's okay. It's totally okay to hit a wrong note. You might be way off. It's totally fine to experiment and just keep that regular note, in your phrase of your head. Like if I'm trying to find a... Okay, there it is. That's the first note I want, right? And oftentimes accidents turn out to be happy. I know that I've hit a few wrong notes that I ended up keeping in an arrangement. You have to make mistakes. Again, if you're going to create something, it's going to happen. The last tip is about identifying chords. I'm planning on another video or two where I may talk about this more in depth, but I wanted to share a quick strategy for finding chords. I think it was Jennifer Ellis that mentioned this way as well in Virtual Harp Summit this week, and I think someone else mentioned it as well. I know I've heard it before. And it's a really good way a really good formula just for finding out what chords go with your tune. And this way I'm gonna show you is better if you already know the melody well. So let's assume you do. Let's assume you've already learned Southwind, and we'll just go with that. So again, we're in G. So we already know we're in G. Our home chord is G. The way we play that is we're just gonna, for the sake of this video, we're gonna do really boring triads. So again, your home note is G, your home chord is G, starts on a G. We're just going to start on a G. Skip a string each time and you have a G triad. So we're going to start there. We're going to keep playing. We're going to try this. Keep playing G in your left hand until it sounds weird, and then we'll change it. that right there. Right there. There's where we need to change it. This bit. What note is that? We're on an A right now. So what you have to do is just, let's find chords that have an A in them. So what has an A in it? And we'll just stick with triads for now. A minor has an A at the bottom. So let's try that. Starting on G. We'll try our A minor here. Now that's not what I had in my tutorial video, but I actually really like it. And it actually goes. Let's see what else has an A in it. What other kind of chord has an A in it? So besides A minor, we can try a D chord that has an A at the top. Just as long as it has an A in it somewhere, it might work. So we're going to try it. So let's try it with a D instead. Now that sounds pretty natural, and I believe that's the chord I have in my video. But you know what? I like that A minor so much, I think we could use both of them. So let's try that. A minor, D. Now, I think that sounds really nice. So you can play around with that. Here's another way to play it. Here's my A minor. I moved my A minor. I kept the A at the bottom and did a D chord on top. And we're getting into inversions there, and we'll probably talk about this in another video. But inversions are just where you take one of the notes in the chord and you move it to a different spot. Right now A is on top. We're going to move the A to the bottom. It's still a D chord. D is still the root of the chord. So that's one way you can play without even moving your hands too much. You can change chords that way. We just went from an A minor to a D chord. So let's move on a little bit because this is exciting. We're on a G. Now we're going to try our A and a D. Back to G. Kind of muddy. So what can we do to fix that? So the note I want to change my chord on is E, so we need to find a chord that has E in it. E minor starts on an E. Let's try that. That works. But let's not stop there. Let's try what else has an E. What else has an E in it? So we could do an A minor as well, has an E in it. So let's see if that works. That's kind of nice. It gives a little bit of a clashing feel. That's really neat. I kind of like that. Let's see if we can use the E minor and the A minor. I actually like that a lot. So that is just a nice simple strategy you can use to find a chord that belongs with any note in your tune. And I mean, it's kind of foolproof. You really can't mess it up. I mean, you can hit a chord that sounds bad, but big deal, you just change it. You know, it's not rocket science. You guys got this. I have every confidence in you. So I am planning some other things for learning left hand I've got in the works. I know a couple of you have struggled in the past a little bit with just how to add left hand into a piece. Hopefully this was helpful for you. One of the solutions I am planning on implementing soon is, I've still got to work all this out, but I am planning on making separate detailed tutorials for my future Tune Tutor videos. Separate tutorials for the left hand, you know, if I have a good left hand worked out for you guys. So I'll do a tutorial just on the left hands, and those will be available to my patrons on my new Patreon page. And I'm going to set it at lower end patrons because I want it to still be accessible. And Toon Tutor's not going anywhere. Still going to be here every other week here on YouTube. And we'll still have the regular Learn a Melody videos and maybe splash some chords on there. I've not worked it all out yet, but I hope you consider joining me on Patreon soon and learning even more and supporting me in a new way besides being regular wonderful viewers and leaving me your encouragement in the comments, which I very much appreciate, even if you can't do Patreon right now. So thanks so much for coming along to this video with me. I hope it was helpful for you guys. If it was, please leave me a comment and let me know. And if I can help you with anything else, I'd love to. Just shoot me an email or we can Skype. I don't only offer ongoing Skype lessons. You can just buy as many lessons as you like, even if that's just 1 or 2, and we can work on whatever you like. And I hope you will come back next Friday for more songs, tunes, and harp tutorials. Bye, thanks so much for watching.